Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost, and in this video I wanted to give you some other tools, right? Communication tools. So these communication tools, these could be used on anyone, right? Not just narcissists. So I developed, with what I teach people, things I call diffusing statements. And a diffusing statement, in my definition, my body of work, is something that doesn't contain any energetic charge, so no hook. Because what narcissists, or really anyone who's been showing you toxic behavior or unwanted behavior, is trying to siphon your energy in some way. Now, people who aren't narcissists do this because if we're not self-regulating, sometimes we don't realize unconsciously we're trying to pull on people's energy. Now, to become sovereign, we have to become sovereign of our own energy field. And communication is the gateway, right? It's the gateway to our field a lot of the time. So I'm going to teach you some diffusing statements that you might want to use, right? Because I just don't feel like a lot of us know that we're allowed to sometimes, right? Or what it costs us not to be able to stand in our own power and truth. Now, what we don't want to do, because we often lose our energy when we're trying to be right, when we're trying to convince someone else, it's enough for you to stand, like I can stand in my truth and you're allowed to have your truth. And the bits where they can make love and make babies is wonderful. And the bits where your truth gets to be yours and mine gets to be mine, that's okay. That's okay. We also want to have consensual conversations. All forms of energy exchange, psychically, emotionally, energetically, psychologically, should be consensual. Should be consensual. Can I talk to you about this right now? I mean, with a narcissist, they will never want to have any closure or resolution, so you'll never be allowed to talk anything. They'll put you, I remember being in that relationship, goodness me. I was in business and life with someone. Trying to talk about anything, I just kept getting, well, I really want to have a meaningful conversation, but it's not a good time. This went on for months. You did a little on the merry-go-round. Anyway, so let's give you some diffusing statements. So look, one thing is to know, right, which I'm teaching on this channel, and I had to learn the very hard way, is that when you pour love on someone, when you pour love on someone who's not a narcissist, they will thrive often in some way and you'll feel good. It should be a win-win, win for you, win for them, win for the collective. When you pour love on a narcissist, they drain your life force. It's a lose, lose, lose. It's a lose for you. It's a lose for them because they don't evolve. It doesn't change them. And it's a lose for the collective. So we want to do win, 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 or aim for that. Is it good for me? Is it good for people as a whole? And is it good for the other in their highest intentions and good and outcomes? And we have to, I had to learn this too. People don't just deserve your trust. They have to earn it, right? I've got a very beautiful, naive heart. And I feel people, we project, I'm sure you did as well. We project who we are on other people. And people have to earn trust. That doesn't mean you have to make it hard for them. It doesn't mean we just value our energy. We value our hearts. We value that our trust is a gift we give someone, right? People don't just get to have it without us feeling safe, because when we trust someone, it's a safety issue, right? When I decide to trust you, I feel safe with you. If you come into my containers or my channel, right, there's a trust being built here. You feel safe to be here, yeah? It's building trust, but I'm earning that trust by demonstrating who I am, demonstrating my values, right? Giving you safe ways to interact with me where I'm not pushing you, or you know what I mean? It's a safe space. We want to create safe spaces, and we want to look after our inner child, right? There's a mama bear that needs to be in all of us that will literally rip anything apart that is going to damage our inner child. And we still have an inner child inside. We've got to connect. So I teach 100% divinity and united with our 100% humanity. We're both. We're spiritual and divine. And the little girl and little boy in us, right, needs a mama bear. And our self-parenting and not self-abandoning is the key to all of this. Like claiming back our sovereignty, claiming back our power, and going and building extraordinary lives. So a diffusing statement. I have had people, I'll give you an example, criticize me in every way you can imagine. and again, a lot of people do that because they're jealous, but at the time, it's very difficult not to take it personally. I remember God telling me not to take things personally and saying, this is cultural, it's not personal. I kept getting that message, you know, you're swimming in the sea with sharks and you just got to know what a shark is. And it is true. So we've got to learn not to take things personally, but to also diffuse, which just means diffuse the energetic charge of stuff coming at us. So when people were criticizing my business or my life or who I am, or I've had every single thing about the way I look, whatever it is, but when it was business in particular, they'd say, I don't know if I think that's a good idea, or I don't think that will work. I'd say, that's an interesting idea. That's an interesting idea. What I'm really saying is, you're allowed your opinion, I'm allowed mine. I don't have to justify myself to you. I don't think you look nice in that dress. That's an interesting idea. There's nowhere to go. There's no trigger. There's no hook. There's no fight. I'm not denying their reality and they're not denying mine. And nor am I fighting for mine. So these diffusing statements are very powerful. When someone says to you, oh, you know, I didn't like the way you acted at that party. I thought you were a little bit standoffish. I would just say, as a diffusing statement, that's not how I feel. No excuse. And then, you know, there's no hook. You could also use, that's not how I see it. Silence. There's real power in owning your silence, your sovereignty, your truth. And not needing another to buy into it. I don't, you know, if you don't need them to buy into it, you're not in any resistance to their truth. This is true power. Massive power. This is uneffable with energy, right? This is the energy that no one can F with. So, and if they keep going on and on, you can say, I need to go now. But you don't, you know, I teach people a lot of I language, right? Because what gets us in fights and arguments is when I have to project, like, you did this and you did that and you did that. You can just say to someone who is giving you a level of behavior that you're not happy with, this is not something I desire to experience. I'm leaving now. I language, I is very powerful. I take control of me. I do not desire to experience this, or I do not want to join in with this, or I do not want to talk about this. I'm leaving now. Diffusing, silence. No, this is, you know, this is in situations where you need to diffuse energy. It is different if two healthy people are having a discussion where we both want to come together intimately in any way. Intimacy doesn't have to be a romantic partner, where I'm looking for connection and resolution with you. Then it's these are particular skills, right? These are not the skills to use in healthy situations where you're trying to build connection. If you want me to talk about that, I will. But at the moment, you know, some of us are in a bit of a war ground and we need to learn these skills to protect our energy first. It's very natural for you to to form connection in a real space. And again, it's the same kind of things, but differently. Like, we use I language. I can say to you honestly, look, I'm not feeling safe in this conversation right now. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying you're making me feel unsafe. Do you see the difference? I'm just saying, look, I'm not feeling safe in this conversation right now. I need to take a break. If you're having an argument, I'm going to teach you about the emotions, and we're doing a lot of emotional intelligence and how do we process emotions. But it's best not to have a discussion when you're emotionally charged. It's better to go outside, swear your head off, do whatever you need to do to get the emotion out and then come back to it. But with someone you love, you don't want to abandon them, right? Which is why a lot of us stay in fights. It's better to say, look, I need to process this right now. I am going to come back to this conversation. I will discuss it with you tonight, but I just need a little bit of a break to get my thoughts together. You can do that. And that's not, you know, not being a narcissist where they just completely abandon you in your pain, in your misery, in your confusion, and in your emotions. Where, you know, what we want as humans is to be held in our emotions. Our emotions are our truth. It's the truth of our entire reality. So if you are getting very charged, it's better to say to a person that you do want to, you know, talk with, you know, I really do want to talk to you about this, but I'm getting quite emotionally charged. I need a little bit of time to process it, right? I am going to come back to you and let them know when you think you'll be able to do that, so they don't feel abandoned, so you keep the connection with those you want to. But with a narcissist, if you're giving them your emotional truth, your vulnerability, you're literally handing them bullets that they're going to shoot you with. That's what, it's just the honest truth. So many of us have tried to appeal with empathy and love and, you know, trying to appeal to their compassion, and you're appealing to something they don't have. And then just handing them power and the exact bullets they're going to shoot you in the head with. So not literally, but you know what I mean. So I think that's it. The other thing I want to say is, like, again, when I've been helping entrepreneurs and stuff, and just people who are starting something with new ideas and they need to protect their ideas, it's best not to give details on things. Now, that same rule applies to what you're doing in your life. If you're with narcissistic people, they're going to fish for details, any little hook. They're going to want to know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, why you're doing it. No details. I'm going out. You don't need to say where. Where? Don't know. Or if you do know, see a friend. Like, just vague. The less details, the better. If you were starting a business, you've got a new idea, something close to your heart that you need to protect, right? And, sometimes when you do things like that, people can get pressure because people are like, well, how's it going? Are you making money yet? Are you doing this? You say, I feel really good about it. I feel really good about it. I language. I feel good about it. How's your health? They know you've got a health condition, but you're a bit vulnerable right now. You don't really want to talk about it. I'm feeling okay. No details. If there are people that you can't trust, or you know inside, you're not feeling like you can trust them, take out the details, but no defense, no aggression, because, well, you can do all those things, but it's not power. This is real power. This is the uneffable, powerful way to communicate. So they're digging and digging and digging to find out your vulnerability. I feel good about it. No details. Do you see? Very simple sentences, diffusing statements. Post below if you want any advice. I will give you on this because I love doing the communication tools. And we're not using our communication as weapons. We're using our communication to diffuse energy so that we don't say something that then we start getting highly energetically charged by, and people are siphoning our energy and depleting us. And actually that gives us a lot of anxiety, because sometimes we can feel very unsafe after we've done that. We're like, oh no, why did I say that? And now I'm in trouble, and this and this and this is going to happen. And we get in a lot of fear. So we've got to learn not just how to manage our energy, but how to communicate powerfully and be ineffable with, because we know how to diffuse the statement and walk away. Yeah, but that's not aggression, you see. It's different to me saying, I'm not talking to you. That's different to me saying, I feel good about it. Then if someone digs, I've had this with narcissists, they dig, you say, well, there's nothing else to really discuss. There's nothing really to discuss. There's nothing really to discuss. I don't have anything to discuss. I don't have anything to discuss. What can you say to that? I feel really good about it. Or I'm feeling okay. I feel okay. I don't have anything I want to discuss. I don't have anything I want to discuss. So therefore, you don't get to bully me into discussing something I'm not happy with. How's your mother? What's she doing? What's this? I don't have anything I want to discuss on that. Yeah? Can we talk about something else? This is the power. All right, my loves, comments, let me know, and I'll speak to you soon.